There has been an awful lot of talk about Marwah Rizqy, which is interesting because these days Marwah Rizqy has decided it's time to be a mom. She has a new baby and thinking of having yet a second child. And when we talked to Mr. Marwah, to Greg Kelly the other day, he basically said the same thing when we asked, so is there a chance she might run? And we thought, what better way to find out than to get it directly from, as they say, the horse's mouth. So Marwah Rizqy very graciously has decided to come on and chat this afternoon. Marwah, thanks so much. We appreciate it as always.
My pleasure to be with you.
Ordinarily, we're just talking policy or plans, but Natasha brought up something interesting. Today, we heard from Andre Fortin, your party leader, spokesperson, if you will, suggesting that you would be the best leader for the party. Columns have come out, most recently, José Legault, and now Patrick Lagacé,
saying the world
basically
has
saying
changed.
the same thing. Yeah. So there are a lot of people that seem to be pushing you forward. You haven't said much other than you're thinking about it. But I mean, if this is going to be happening on a regular basis and everyone seems to have wonderful things to say about you and how you would be the best choice, are you actually considering doing this? And when, if and when will you make a decision?
Well, I'll be very honest with you. The answer is no. I love my party, and it's very flattering. I read all the column. I read also the comments below the column.
We should never read those. You should never read the comments.
I know, you're right, but I did. And at the end of the day, I have to remind myself that despite that I really want to jump in, it's not doable for me and for my family right now because we really want to have to focus on what's the emergency for us because I'm not getting any younger and we really want to have another baby. And why I think I'm very torn is because I am very conscious about the situation of my party. I want to do more. I want to give more than my 100%. I don't feel like I can do more right now, and that's why I feel a little bit torn about the situation.
Do you feel, I kind of got my backup for you, Marwah. I was like, hey, back off. She's trying to figure this out. Don't put additional pressure on her. And Andre Fortin, for one, bowed out because he wanted to have more family time, right? And then Patrick Lagacé saying that the world has changed and that we're more accepting of a woman with a baby, a woman of color. Do you think the world has changed? And how do you react to kind of the pressure? I love that you just said no, by the way, and you know that it's no. But how did you feel about this process? And has the world changed?
I remember the day that the Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern stepped down. She said, I don't have it anymore in the tank. I don't have enough in the tank, and I don't want to get there. I want to make sure that I have enough in the tank to speak up for people at the National Assembly and to also have time for my family. And right now, I know that my energy level is perfect, but if I add more, and running to be the leader of my party, that means I have to be on the road all the time, leaving my baby at home. And I don't want to do it now. I just can't. And after that, when you become a leader, you have to run to become the premier. So it's an additional pressure. So at this time, I just don't see it. I don't see myself being pregnant and having a baby in my hand and running all over Quebec. I just don't see it. I'm just trying to find my own balance between Quebec and Montreal with my husband, who's also in politics, Greg Kelly, and my baby. And that balance is very, very important for me.
Good
so
for you.
You said no, but then as you elaborated, I'm getting more of a never say never. Is that accurate?
I would never say never.
So 2, 3, whatever years from now, when you're comfortable, you have a second child, perhaps, you're not shutting the door on eventually possibly running.
I'm not shutting the door.
Okay. Can I ask you another question? You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. When you said you read the comments, and it's funny because we have a running gag here. I said never read the comments because anybody can weigh in, and some of the stuff can be quite hurtful. Was there anything in the comments that bothered you specifically that said, you know what, when people react this way, this is a reason I don't want to consider this?
No, I only have very good comment, and one that very, I think, got into me was one written by someone who worked with Robert Bourassa, who sent me a very nice email saying, if you're running, I'm behind you. And I'm like, wow, if I have people who were in the good days when the party was very strong and bring very important ideas on the table, That's for me a lot of pressure. I will say that was more pressure than the column of Patrick Lagacé, because this is someone who used to be involved at the party. And when you see that you can bring people who used to believe in us, that speaks loud to me.
What about this idea, that I, as a woman myself who struggles with work-life balance and priorities and guilt, there's always guilt in there, this concept that the world has changed and that women now can have it all, that we can do it all. And to that, I would kind of say whether we want it or not, Marwah. Do you believe that is possible, that you can strike that work-life balance when the conditions are right?
Well, honestly, I feel that I do have it all. I'm very happy. I just feel like I'm on my X. I feel blessed every day. Like, I'm the MNA of Saint-Laurent, and every day I go to work at the National Assembly. I can speak up. I can have a very important impact on the educational system. I do speak also about the tax system. So, and I have like my family, which is very important, and we're going to celebrate the 2-year anniversary on Saturday. We want to have a second baby, but honestly, I have it all. So if like there's any young woman out there thinking that it's not possible to have a family, to run in politics, it is possible. But the next step, being a premier of Quebec, that it's a very important decision that you cannot take based on column, on the pressure. It's something that you need to address with your own family and make sure that the entire family is on board. And this is something right now that me, not Greg, me, I'm taking a decision that I'm not on board now, because I just don't want to be running all over Quebec, being pregnant for a second time, and having a baby boy of 1 year old at the same time. That will be too much for me, and I feel like that will be a breaking point. I don't want to reach a breaking point.
Understood.
Good for you.
And I think well said. I want to just shift. We're going to talk politics because you're still involved in politics, leader or not.
Yes.
So the first question we have, we're a little bit baffled today by this whole story out of the Quebec City CEGEP with their English week. And then, of course, the premier coming out and saying it was a bad idea, all his ministers saying the same thing. And then to read Andre Fortin coming out actually yesterday, we brought his name up earlier, and saying that the Liberals of all parties suggested that this CEGEP rather, actually cancel English week. And we're like baffled as to why the Liberals of all parties would come out and say that.
I didn't hear what Andre said, but this is what I have to say. I'm the critic for the higher education of my party. And I'm also the critic for education of my party. I found it very hypocrite of Mr. Legault saying that it's a bad thing, because less than 2 years ago, he's the one who said that we should extend for the 6th grader the bilingual program. Why? Because after a survey, 99.1% of the parents, the Francophone parents, wanted to have more English for their kids. So in one way, they're doing politics of the student CEGEP. And just to let you know that CEGEP Garneau has every Thursday, Connais-tu la chanson, which is a French program when they promote French songs and French authors. They also have a French week. They also have la Semaine de la Littérature in French. They also have Espace Français to promote the French culture, but that no one said that in the media. But is it okay in Quebec to still be a francophone and to have the right to learn another language? I'm a kid. The Bill 101 kid, I am one. Mm-hmm. I went to school from the kindergarten, prématernelle 4 ans, till my university entirely in French. And guess what? I also went to University of Florida. I spent 2 years there. I did not lose my French. But are we still allowed to speak another language here in Quebec? Are we still allowed to learn another language? Because Premier Legault is making feel like we're not allowed to learn anything else but French.
No, but your party, your own party came
Andre,
out and said, cancel this English week. Why? Where is the sense in that? I don't understand. I know you can't speak for Andre, but this was not his decision. This was apparently a party decision. Why would you cancel English week?
Maybe, and I don't know, because I didn't hear what Andre said, like I said.
I can read you the quote, Marwah. Do you want me to read you?
Please.
He said, it's important to teach English in the framework of our classrooms, but the decision of the CEGEP Garneau to ask everyone to speak English for a week to us seems ill-advised. We are asking them to reverse their decision.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. Why everyone is like so upset. Maybe I missed something. But my understanding of what's going on in Cégep Garneau, it's not mandatory. They have like 1 week because the student asked for it. Maybe because I would have to say that the sixth grader, the 11th grader, the one who just graduated from high school, 52% of them fell in French, in spelling. So maybe that's why today, in that context, I don't know, maybe that's why people want to promote more French.
Well, you know how bad this makes the Liberal Party look, right? I mean, Tom Mulcair brought this up. This is going back to David Birnbaum and Hélène David, all this over again with, French courses at CEGEP, which basically had the party shoot itself in the foot. This kind of decision that we just mentioned that Natasha just read, it's the same thing all over again, isn't it?
The Bill 96, you're talking about Bill 96, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm talking about this particular decision to have a party guy stand up and go, you know what? Learning English for a week at a French CEGEP, terrible idea. We should cancel it.
It harkens back
What sense does that make?
Bill 96 issue.
I understand the frustration. I do. And honestly, I think all the time when it comes down to speak French, and if we're allowed to learn another language here in Quebec, it feels like we're no longer allowed to.
Yeah.
I understand the frustration, but as the critic, I will give you the answer for my party for the higher education. Yes, French is important. Yes, we need to promote French. Yes, we have to make sure that a French institution as Cégep Garneau make sure that the French program is entirely given. That's what they're doing. Regarding to the week that they wanted to do, is it the place for the government, say, to cancel without talking to the CEGEP, without saying like the CEGEP is doing more in French than other CEGEP, like, by example, correcting the French in every class, not like in the French courses, but in every courses they actually do correct the French. I think that the Premier Legault here is talking again, saying, no, we cannot learn English at the CEGEP, but he's the one who wants to extend the English bilingual program in the sixth grader. So it doesn't make any sense for me. And he also wants to make sure that people, what's the language they speak at home. As a politician, it's not my business what language you speak at home. What's my business is the language that we speak at work, and to make sure that people here in Quebec can speak French at work. That's, for me, the important thing. But after I said that, I understand the frustration. I will talk and see what happened today. I missed probably a conversation.
That's fine.
But I don't want to speak on behalf of someone else.
To be fair, we probably should have. I mean, I thought you were aware of what was going on, but you weren't. So if you find out, I'd love to hear back. We'd love to hear back from you at some point during the week and maybe try to explain this because we don't get it.
And we have reached out to André Fortin as well.
I will tell you maybe the frustration and why people are like also wanting to make sure that we speak French is because it's a French institution. And right now, I have to say, a lot of the French students failed in the French exam.
Okay.
So this is a very important concern. It's not normal that we have so many French students that fail the spelling exam. So yes, we have to make sure that before they learn another language, that at least they don't fail the French exam and they have all the tools to make sure that they're good in French. But that being said, we have to also make sure that the students here in Quebec are still allowed to learn another language.
No question. Listen, we're out of time. As always, we thank you for the time. If you want to delve into this and get back to us, that'd be great. It's just so you have the facts, and we're going to have André Fortin on, I hope, tomorrow.
We're working
maybe to try to explain it. And we wish you all the best.
And we wish you and Greg happy anniversary on Saturday.
Yeah, happy anniversary, too.
Thank you.
All the best, Marwah.
And I'll get back to you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Bye-bye. Marwah Rizqy, everyone wants her to run. Sounds like Natasha to me. Not going to happen.
That was very clear.
Yeah,
no,
no.
But I would add a comma for now.
Never say never.